from 1952 in the Evening Star. While the next story features the great Nick Tronsky in the headline, it actually talks a lot about one of the better bowlers of that era of the 1930s and 40s by the name of Astor Clarke. So with that understanding, we'll get to the article. Headline is, Tronsky bringing great record to Dixie Open bowling Saturday. Washington's classiest bowling tournament of the season, accepting the National Duckpin Congress Championships in April, is coming off Saturday. The Dixie Open will be rolled at the Kingpin, Hyattsville Recreation, and Bladensburg lanes with a 5-game set at each. Most of the top-flight duckpinners in the country will be engaged, and heading the list will be Nick Tronsky of New Britain, Connecticut. 20 years ago, Tronsky was chosen the #1 ranking duckpin shooter of the land. That's his official rating now. The adjective remarkable is a strong one to apply to anything in this age, but we risk it in the case of Tronsky. For excellence, over a long stretch, his record has been surpassed probably by few men in the annals of sport. In a game that requires considerable physical prowess to excel, he appears to sharpen with age. For the last 4 seasons, Tronsky was ranked #1 twice, second once, and third once by the National Duckpin Congress, whose ratings are prepared strictly from averages in championship competition. 10 times in 20 years, Tronsky has appeared in the first 4, and 4 times as #1. His record, no doubt, would have been even brighter but for a period of spasmodic bowling. Working long hours as shop foreman in an airplane parts factory, Nick, for 6 years, didn't bowl enough to be ranked. There was some doubt that he'd ever regain stardom. But is he the greatest duckpin bowler ever? Yes and no, say 2 preeminent authorities, meaning Ben McElwee of Washington and Ralph Brackbill of Baltimore, longtime chroniclers of the game. They agree that Tronsky must be named if the choice is based on performance over a long period. Otherwise, the distinction goes to Astor Clarke, who for 6 straight seasons, ending with 1941, when he left Washington to live in Florida and retired from bowling, held the #1 ranking. In those 6 seasons, Tronsky finished second twice, third once, fourth twice, and 8th once. Before reaching the top, Clarke twice was second in the ratings. Tronsky has held innumerable records, the foremost perhaps being the current mark for 3 games in the national tournament, a 5-17 set. For pressure bowling, Brackbill says, I lean toward Clarke. Nothing discouraged him. A good example was the Kirkwood sweepstakes in 1940 in Baltimore. Frank Spencer set a South Atlantic record of 889 rolling in an early squad. Clarke set out to beat it with the attitude of a man with a job to do who had no doubt he'd do it. He missed by 4 pins. Then there was the time when Clarke's #1 spot was threatened by Jack White of Connecticut, who, by the way, will bowl here Saturday. As the season of 1940 and 41 drew to a close, White was leading by a slender margin. One chance remained for Clarke to improve his average. The Virginia-Carolina Open was being held in Richmond. Clarke hustled down there, a late entrant. He shot .782 for the highest 5-game score ever registered up to that time. He beat out White by 40 pins. In third place, 15 sticks behind White, was Tronsky.